Let's get Earl back to work because he's a good person. Yes, he is. I sat down after making the last one, and they have this person called Jesse Waters on Fox News. He smirks a lot. I think the people and the marketing, towards the genocide operations to maintain economic conflict for military genocidal operators, you have to have a certain personality trait and type to continue the agitation and the conflict, So, and certain they have their different smirks, their different looks, right? And I used to think, because their rhetoric is a lot more caring, like they said with Al Gore and the windmills and stuff. And large windmills are an ecological disaster. Okay. Making them a big grid for everybody, if you put them in individual units on homes, that's very intelligent. Okay. Large ones to provide energy, and most of the energy goes to factories and industry. And industry is excessive, compulsive, and self-destructive because the car goes down, then you make the second one, and it does this, has no resale value, then it ends up, and then we put it in the clapper, and then we crunch it up. Oh, Dad, you can't let them do that to Chitty. We love Chitty. It's a car that caused your mom's cancer. Okay, so do you understand? But you love that. You love that car, like R. Kelly loves his Jeep, right? So when and it was the extortion, exploitation, and the denial of the Lord's Prayer that, So you have these people engaged in this bad brain chemical activity. And then you have their documentation, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. So happiness is sustained in share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. So where's the pursuit of happiness? Of happiness is living faithfully. So therefore, unfaithful people perceive their pursuit of happiness as everybody else's pursuit of happiness. The only way to maintain any form of lasting happiness is to share, care, given accordance, be built to last, not life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Okay, because liberty is freedom from abuse, from aggressive, selfish people that thou shalt not covet. So you got to understand. Okay, quantum computing has access to all your written documentation and all the things that, even if you distort the history, manipulate the history and stuff like that, it's still going to be able to do the math. Like one of the best documents in the history of the world is a book called the Holy Bible, right? And the consistency of the share, care, given accordance to need, built to last, faith and omnipotent glory people, okay, always outshines and is always the standard of human gratitude for the gift of life from infinite glory to the people around them that are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, economic gains, taxes, wars, so forth, right? Now, there are a couple of times in the Bible where they have to engage violent people and try to eliminate the actions and the circumstances of their disease and their war, and then pour salt on there so nothing will grow there, and then get away from those memories, get away from Hiroshima, get away from the Trinity site. Don't go back there and keep doing the same thing, right? Lock it up, get rid of it, and, do things to be really hard. I think that's really just disgusting to make holy, kind, empathetic people go clean up your murder mess. Like all those people that go visit Auschwitz and stuff. I would not go. I thought about going to Wounded Knee, but that would be hard enough on me. No, I would not go. I would not want to feel it. I don't want to feel, it's hard enough feeling, living next to the Trinity site, which gave us Tularosa, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki. It's hard enough. It's bad. Yeah. That's the inception point of the world rape, of the threat to blow everybody up, and, if we can't continue to fuck the populace so far, it goes. And so there's flawed perception of what they perceive as fundamentals in all the documentation, and that's obvious, so you look at the causality of all the irrational behaviors throughout time and the people most responsible for it. And then you hear the guy from NATO talk with all the other, quote, leaders of Europe, we don't need him to kick China's ass. We can kick China's ass ourselves. Share, care, given, courtesy, built to last. Okay. Tony, Maria, a place for us. Sometimes there'll be a place for us. So, and then people, I'm a dreamer. Who single-handedly in Cochise County on YouTube took on the worst murdering, child molesting, home invasion perverts in the whole world. And then Clevisel, Wahlberg, and Gibson try to make it look like they're doing it to win an award. A sneeze. I got it. We just got through doing moving all the pecan stuff and everything. All the dust and everything. And when I work out there this year, I got to make sure I wear my mask. I hate wearing them because I hate genocidal activities and stuff, and then you people, there's has to be mass extermination events. So Ukraine and Russia and COVID-19 wasn't enough for you? Rotten bastards. When you sit and look at what happened under the Biden administration and you look at what's happening under the Trump administration, it's trying to invent narratives of human incompetence through violence, through conflict over economics, to maintain a status quo of you need the military, you need this, you need Big Brother, you need George Orwell's factory in your house, you need all this stuff, and you need this, and you need to be dependent on it. And technically what we need is more independence from dependence on a strong central government and all that stuff. What you need is bonds of fellowship that have similar understandings of the same values, okay? Because the values are the same, okay? You need clean water. You need healthy food. You need very good shelter. You need people to get together to make sure that people have all of those, okay? Clean water, healthy food, very good shelter, okay? That's the principal tenets of Abrahamic religion, right? That people have, Bobby Schuller, I'm doing a great work building the wall around the city because the barbarians will come and sack and raid and abuse if you don't have a wall around to keep them safe. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. That your neighbors are so selfish and so vicious and so disgusting that you have to build a wall around your houses so you don't have a view of Mount Sinai or Mount Zion because you can't in your house and enjoy the beautiful scenery and stuff because you have to be concerned that you're raping, looting, pillaging next door neighbors. Okay. That you have business agreements, here, sign this piece of paper, he signed your bill, now your law, are going to come and, it wasn't us who did it, but that's my hat and that's my daughter. Oh no, she decided she wanted to be with me. Dad, help, they got me working in a brothel, help me, I'm Billie Holiday. You see what I'm saying? So it's horrible, right? And so, and then after a while, because it's so undesirable and so abusive in the boondocks, that Dorothy and Tommy and, they leave Virginia, they leave the countryside, they go to Harlem and wear zoot suits and Mr. BB and, and wear all the designer clothes and do all that stuff and die in their 50s, 60s, and 70s because of all the secondhand smoke, all the excessive compulsive behaviors, all the alcohol, all the dancing that destroyed their body because they had to keep doing it and doing it and doing it well. We represent the circus act that brings in all the consumers. And it doesn't last for long. There's always a newer model waiting outside. And they don't like, to watch 50-year-old dancers dance. They like to watch Anne Margaret when she's like, damn, I'd do anything to fuck her and pay all the money in the world to have her sit on my face just once, right? When she hits 50 and 60, and she has all that cigarettes and alcohol and stuff, she doesn't taste very good. She doesn't smell very good. She's not cleaning out the body as efficiently and as well as she did when she was 20 and when she was 17. That was a very good year. It was a very good year for making lots of money off mobsters, and then have a pearl-handled gun under my pillow to kill Eddie Murphy to stay in business, right? Harlem Nights, right? And so you guys got to understand. And then we're moving to Chicago. Mean old Levy taught me to weep and moan, right? So when you look at the causality, we're going to talk about this a lot. Okay, obviously, yes, because causality, there's always a reason. And when you read the Bible, you look at the causality of what all the trials and tribulations of all the people like Adam, Eve, David, Esther, Jesus, Ruth, John, so forth. They started including a lot less women later on in the Gospels, didn't they? Yeah, well, those men and those magnificent men and their flying machines, right? What about Amelia Earhart? She did. Well, there was lots of people, they all did, And you look at things and you look at people, and how many people have come and gone. And it's difficult when, you're alive and okay, well, these days Harry Morgan's going to die and Colonel Potter's going to die and he's old, so it's going to happen fairly soon, right? And I remember that when I used to watch that show. So I like him. He's very funny. I like him in the Apple Dumpling Gang. I like him in a lot of those things and stuff. But I know Harry Morgan's going to pass away soon. He's getting older, right? So I said that day's going to be sad. But, well, at least we have all these fun movies and horse hockey, and all that stuff. Yeah, are they fun? Well, are they? They're about people having to rob banks to try to pay the mortgage or lose the farm. Same old story has been told before. Same old confusion keeps knocking at my door. Same old story, right? And it's horrible, And you guys are just horrible people. You're horrible human beings. I didn't settle for Steffi. I was trying to help Steffi live a better life because she wanted a better life and she thought she could have it with me. And the military and the Quorum of the 12 and the Vatican and all you celebrities that sell tons of products and have the most popular selling music and get the most money for your popular selling music than any singers of all time made it hard for me and Steffi to, Pisces, Virgo rising is a very good sign, strong and kind, and the little boy is mine. You made it real hard for us to have any kind of relationship where she'd enjoy sex with a man like Miriam, wanted to, because of the horrible things that happen because of betrayal of selfishness, and the bonds and the covenants that keep men and women together were betrayed, So you want to be with that guy that, he's not going to try to kill me and get rid of me and kick me aside to have sex with my younger, hotter, with my daughter. Okay. This guy, okay, will have sex with the roly-poly fat-faced girl for the rest of his life and pass up on the Kardashian because it's not the right thing to do. And he had movie star good looks. He was the best athlete in his generation, and he was more intelligent than any of the Nobel Prize winners ever. And he was going to be with the roly-poly little bat-faced girl because he liked her because she was cute. And she had a nice voice, and she had little feminine hands, and, she was full-figured. Yeah, but I could keep her in shape and get her in shape if she wasn't being sexually groomed, predicated, and abused by all the jealous people that were at the Golden Globes and all the people that put them at the Golden Globes, right? So, hey, if you don't like the causality of your actions, get up and change your actions. Otherwise, life's eternal grace is infinite, truth is evident, and a lie is obvious. They're obviously lying, right? Okay. Lord's Prayer is perfect, and they're denying it to their own children because of their brain chemical addiction, right? That's if you maybe it's not it doesn't seem impossible, and it's a gospel truth. Well, because this isn't a Disney cartoon, and I ain't fucking playing. Don't rub the lamp. Why are you rubbing the lamp? It doesn't help if you rub the lamp. That's my mom's lamp. Yeah, she had it. Yeah, they don't sell lamp shades like that one anymore. That's why it's got the tape and the. It's old, but yeah. Me and Linda and Loretta were saying, "Oh, I like this lamp. It's neat. It's an older Art Deco kind of style. I don't know what it's really, it's kind of elaborate, but it's nice and it's ceramic and stuff. It looks like it was made out of wood, but it's not. It's ceramic, and it's like, oh, that's neat. Yeah, it is. But they don't make them like that anymore. Everything's like in these little modern style, ugly, from like the 1960s, and the groove is in the house, and you're just like, oh God, those are so bad. They're so fucking ugly. Okay, but just about everything's like that. Didn't market this and that. It's like, can we have anything that's got a little bit more? I do like mission style things and stuff like that, but I don't mind a little carving in the woods and the stuff. But it just depends, But they just throw it all on us and say this is the most efficient, this is the best, this is the one you should buy, this is the one certified by the Al Gore Leibowitz Foundation of Getty Images. Yeah. And then what? And then if you want to go with the extreme right, you can get a replica of the gun that shot Lincoln in the back of the head and have it displayed in the middle of your living room and say, damn it, I'd be owning fucking black women and mutilating their husband and abusing our kids if it wasn't for those that damn son of a bitch Lincoln, right? Yeah, Pop said, son, you're going to drive me to drinking if you stop driving that hot rod Lincoln. And then everybody, oh, those are such horrible people. Yeah, I know. But you do know it was people that look like me that built the pyramids and not people that look like LeBron James, right? And you do know that they were jealous of people like me and were afraid of people like me and took our babies and threw them to crocodiles so they wouldn't have to deal with people like me as a man, right? Run, Joey, run. Daddy, please don't. Wasn't his fault. And I don't own a gun. Or, like I tell all the assholes that invent El Chapo around here, you can come throw a grenade in the house. All you do is kill the man you think you hate and a good dog, but the good dog's already dead. So you're too late to kill Zeke. He passed away from old age and stress from the abuse they inflict on me. Yeah, he's such a good dog, though. He's a toughie. Oh boy, yeah, he was old dog. He lived a lot longer than most dogs his size and age do. Yeah. Well, he was loved. Love. Yeah. Zeke was loved. He was the companion of one of the most brave, healthy, strong, courageous men in the history of the world. So, and everybody loves Zeke. And Zeke's story is way more sad than the bullshit than I Am on Legend. Yeah, that's all drama queen bullshit. And no animals were harmed in the making of the movie, except for the brains of the people who think they're animals in the movie. Right, okay. Damn, get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. Right? Hey, what can I say? You don't have to abuse children. I watch, one of my favorite movies is a movie called Winter Hawk. But logistically, it doesn't make any sense. Because Crow-Eye was probably only about, if you look at the way they get aged, Tashina's probably about, if you look at them, they show them they're kids around the same age, but girls do mature fast, so they might get a little bit bigger. So she might be about 2 years younger than him. So he's 17, she's 15. He is 17, she is 15, going on 16. Right. So that's probably about the age that they're getting married and having the two twins came probably, right after the teepee. Right. So she's 16. Right. And the kid that helps the older guy that's in his 30s that wants to marry Tashina, kidnap him and stuff like that. He's like, you look at him, he's like 13 years old. Okay. So there's about 5 years difference between Rudy Diaz and James Raymar's character, when they get to you send the old guy to fight me? It's like, no, they'd be around the same age. Okay. So you sit there and look at it and go, and then he's this old, and there's, yeah, logistically, the movie does not make any sense, but you just don't think about that and go, okay, just relax and enjoy the story. Like, with Austin Powers time traveling with Foxy Cleopatra, just don't worry about that. Just enjoy the movie. And I did that at first, okay, because it's such a sweet story. But then after watching it again, I'm like, well, no, he wouldn't be that much older than Rudy Diaz, and Nick Ramis with those, and he's in his 40s. That's a little old to have that kids that young. But he'd have like teenagers. So wouldn't it just be good? Would he be doing this with his grandpa and then an uncle and then the dad? So it's like, yeah, because Trevor Howard is butt shit old in that, right? And so you're like, he's grandfather from Little Big Man, right? And so you're like, so that's like years after, the lost one and yada, 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 yada. And so logistically, romantically, the movie makes sense. Logistically, it makes no sense at all. Okay. Like a lot of the stories in the Bible, this guy's 870. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here comes the Windwalker, and there's Tashina in the clouds. And, and so you sit there. And then what happened? Aphrodite came down from the sky and helped Paris because he was so handsome, and they slew Menelaus. And then what happened? And then Apollo came from the Creed. Then the Creed came from the Wakanda, right? With the Noah More and the Noah More money, fucking you crazy. And then and Aquaman went under the world into the undersea world of the underworld with Nicole Kidman, his mother, and Boba Fett, or is it Jango Fett? I think it was Jango Fett. Boba Fett is the other one. That's Jango Fett. Okay, those poor people. Oh, Gilligan's Island. Oh, save us, Commander Taggart. Whoa. Correct one single mistake. Still wouldn't do any good. You have so much sin. The love of God will have to save you. They're nuts. I know they're nuts, man. Like I can't stop children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going around. Nobody's right when everybody's wrong. So, I'm fixing the quantum computing technology. What makes it difficult? Assholes on TV and contributions from viewers like you. Okay, that's what makes it difficult. Me? Oh, it's not difficult for me at all. I'm living behind my Lord's Prayer. Had it all proved beyond any reasonable doubts by January 22nd, 2013 in the Obama administration. Then what happened? Ooh, lolly, fuck goes on and hey, look, it's the coke addicts. Here they come. We're the Wickersham brothers. We know your type. We need to you need the Washington Generals in order to be the Harlem Globetrotters. All right, fill the arena, right? And then all the girls, shake their money maker. How about live that Lord's Prayer? You're taking all our fun away. Oh, wow. So abusing each other, making each other feel like they want to die because life will never be beautiful, kind, and sweet is your idea of fun. Wow, you suck. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace.